what changes is life. You're rich now. That changes. That changes a whole nother element. Your friends change, your family change, your girlfriend changes. You know what I mean? That's a whole nother issue. No, seriously, that really does. But
I think they're aware of that.
But the game is the game.
Yeah.
Like, don't ever forget that.
Welcome to No Chill with Gilbert Arenas. I'm Mike Botticello. On that end of the couch right there, got Gilbert Arenas.
What's happening?
Coming this way, Quentin Grimes.
Oh, I'm feeling like yeah, you. I thought you like saying like,
So like, bang.
I thought you introducing everybody. You go hit a head on one. All right,
we went from like first gear to fifth gear right there. So there's that too.
Right.
And DJ Stewart.
What's up?
Gil, you've been in the lab with these guys. They're all the way from, well, we're gonna say the South. We got Texas and Mississippi in the house out here in LA. We're leading up to the draft. You guys coming out of school, and firsthand, you saw what we're working with.
You have both very skilled, raw, still trying to define, what type of player he wants to be. You're pushing back to the one because that's what you were in high school.
Yeah.
That was my problem coming into the NBA because I was a one all through high school, went to college, had to play two because I had the smaller guard.
Yeah, for sure.
And then coming back into the NBA and like, this is my true
Yeah.
position. So, so I know your mindset, so it's like one of those things where you're just trying to, define what your skill is that you want to go into your first season with.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
I mean, you say DJ is raw. I think DJ has what you wish you had as a player.
Oh yeah. I have none of that raw athleticism.
We call that bounce.
That bounce. Yeah.
Just,
But that's what you call raw because you have the intangibles, long arms, bouncy, light on his feet, still got the, still defining his skills. So, those players can go from being the 1, 2, or 3, depending on, where you get drafted and, if that coaching staff is willing to, put the time in to pull out what they want from you. So that's why I said it's more, raw. We can see one, he's going to be 1, 2, majority 1, because that's where he's going to be dominant at that one position because he's bigger than everyone.
and we'll get to your evaluations in a minute, but we want to start to where you guys come from. And the reason you're both here together is because you've been training together. You guys both were with ISC, but now you're connected, which is going to be a cool thing to watch, as the years go by, where this all started, like this moment, you had this foundation and this bond now. But you're from Houston. Mm-hmm. Houston is on the map. Texas is a football state, but that's changing, right?
For sure.
Like it's a hoop city in Houston now.
Yeah, coming up in Texas, like everybody knows it's kind of a football state. Everybody knows like they put so much money into football, high school football and everything. And I feel like towards like 2015, we had like the Harrison twins that was blowing up, Fox and them. You kind of seen like the ball like mixtape coming out and just everybody had mixes. I was trying to get a little pub and everything. And then like just kind of blew it from there. The football aspect was kind of coming down. Everybody want to go to the Friday night basketball game. They ain't trying to go to the football game. They want to see who the coldest hooper is. So I feel like once like the Harrison twins kind of like implanted that in Houston, they kind of just took off in Texas and Dallas started getting big and the DFW, them hoopers started coming out, Julius Randle and all them coming out of high school. And that's just kind of trying to change the narrative from football to kind of Texas really now a basketball state really. So that's kind of how all that started.
And we know about Houston. What we don't know about is Grace, Mississippi. So, I mean, you heard this right. 30 people in the town, Gil.
30. He said 18.
Yeah, it's like, it's not that.
Because he left.
I mean,
He left, so someone
You gotta take one more.
You gotta take one off.
Yeah.
so a 30 at most, right?
Yeah,
But
you
you're
could
coming
say
from a
30.
definition of a small town, right? So what the biggest thing for you to do is get recognized. How did you do that?
It was, I want to say my 11th grade year going into my 12th, and I had to make a decision. I was playing with Jackson Tigers, and they wasn't on the EYBL circuit, and Amiibo was on the EYBL circuit. But I was playing with Jackson Tiger the whole time, and I'm like big on loyalty, but I had to make the right choice. But I had went to play with Amiibo on the EYBL circuit and blew up that summer.
But I mean, even coming out of a small town, what is going to naturally happen? There's a culture shock. and basketball can do that because it's gonna take you. I mean, you know this, take you all over the world. How do you transition your game there? Let alone your, just as a young hooper.
Working, man. Like when I was coming up, like I wasn't even like working out, and it was just like God-given talent. And then I started grinding. I had a high school coach that came from. First off, we was going to a school in Glen Allen. Like it's like 5 minutes outside of Grace, and it burned down. We had to go to a school at Riverside. It was like 20 minutes away. It's like an all-white school. And then we went up there. Then we ended up getting a good coach because it seemed that we had like athletes from like where we were from. So then he had introduced me to the grind. And I started getting results. Then I fell in love with it.
But 18 to 30 people in the
So
city.
still on that.
How many basketball players then? One, two.
It's a lot, but you know what I'm saying. Most of them like don't make it out because of like where we from.
Because I'm saying, like, in a small city like that, what are you watching? Where's the training coming from? Where's the inspiration?
Yeah, like just wanting better, Just from being in Grace and saying like the situation that we're in, just wanting better for myself and my family.
Okay.
But really, it takes you got to have a coach that finds you.
Yeah.
When you're raw.
Right.
And really, like, in the middle of nowhere.
I'm just saying,
it takes a coach,
30,
right?
That's not even an apartment building.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and then just what you have with skills. Like, the truth is now, if you have skills, somebody will find you.
Right. Yeah, that's the benefit of the internet now. It's no matter where you are, as long as you can hoop, someone's gonna see you. I'm from the Valley. I'm from here, and this is a big place. Yeah. This is a really big place, and we wasn't seen. Like there was no TV, there was no Instagram, there was no Google. You can Google, see who players are. Now you had to like when you went on a circuit, that's when you actually seen a person. The pressure's on, they go to what they're comfortable with. Yeah. So you watch what they're comfortable with. Like you watch, and then you be like, all right, what gets them uncomfortable? So now it's so when all right, they're down 3, you already know the move Steph is gonna do.
The route that you took too, you were on the Mr. Basketball in Texas, on the radar, we'll say, and then you go a year at Kansas, then you go to Houston, which is basically going home, right?
Right, for sure.
And just the transfer decision that you made, what were the benefits of that?
Yeah, just going back, I knew I wanted to kind of get back to like my natural position, kind of had the ball more in my hands, whatever. And then when I decided to go back to Houston, I was watching them in the NCAA tournament, play Kentucky. And then I was out in pre-draft because I decided to test the waters my freshman year. And I was out at Arizona State working out in Phoenix. And I knew James, because he's from Houston. Well, he's not from Houston, but played with the Rockets. Mm-hmm. So we kind of got a little relationship when I was in high school. And Coach Sampson was talking to me, recruiting me and everything. And then Harden was like, nah, he gonna let you rock out. He a player's coach. He gonna be hard on you, but he gonna let you rock out. And I was like, once I heard that, it was like, nah, that's where I need to be for sure. So once he said that, he kind of just confirmed everything. And Coach Sampson, one of the hardest coaches on you every day. Well, I think one game I had like 30. The next day I'm running suicides and everything. So it's like he gonna hold you to a standard you can't hold yourself to. So just making that decision to go back home, it was just easy because I had my whole family support system, playing in front of the hometown fans. So that made it a real easy decision for sure.
And that thing, what you just said, that player's coach is really the thing to find. And even, come Team USA and playing at that level, your game. Yeah. You just got to have the right coach that recognizes that and lets that shine.
Yeah, coaches is the most important. Like when kids ask me about colleges, I said, whatever college fits your style, your style of play. You got names, but it's your style of play. Because if you take your name and you get put in a situation where they don't like how you play, it hurts your development. It hurts your skill. It hurts your chances. So, I'd rather pick a school that's gonna let me do whatever I want, smaller, but smaller school with a smaller name, but I'm averaging 35. Trust me, you're gonna find me. Yeah. You're gonna find me. So it's, it's just, whatever system fits how you play is usually the best system versus, the name of the school. Yeah.
And then what you guys, the run to the Final Four this year.
Yeah,
it worked.
Coming in, we had that's Coach Sam. He wants to win. That was his goal. He wanted to get back. like on staff had Coach Quantis and Coach Hollis Price, and they were on his team at Oklahoma when they went to the Final Four, and that's all they talk about every day. We want to get back. They're like, y'all ain't done this, so y'all better listen to what we talking about, because y'all trying to get where we at. So just hearing that every day in practice, it just kind of pushes us, our teammates, just trying to get to where they were, because you got them. They kind of got an edge over you because they went to the Final Four. You haven't, so like, nah, I ain't finna let them hold that over my head the whole time I'm in college. So like this year, that was our just main goal, Final Four, and just kind of coming in every day with that mindset. Even though practice might be 3 hours, we still trying to get to that Final Four. So I feel like we never lost sight of that, and just going in every day with that mindset kind of helped us push each other to get to the Final Four this year.
Would you say the same thing for the Final Four in your experience?
We're talking about getting to the Final Four?
Yeah.
No. We was better than them. So it was just championship. It was championship talk. You know
It's different when you have all eyes on you, right?
It was championship talk. It's like getting. Nah, it was championship.
We're not going to talk about how it ended. I'm not even talking about you. I'm talking about
just talking about
both.
chip. We was just talking about the chip, the whole time, like.
Yeah, lost in the
yeah,
championship?
Yeah.
To who?
We got cheated, Duke. We got cheated.
It was a long time ago, but he's still salty about it. The losses never go away. But yeah, just what you guys accomplished, putting Houston back on your home city, putting the school back on the map, and what school can do for you. We're seeing it prepares you. Really, that's the best thing to do is no matter where you come from, you embrace the time that you're there, because it's going to get me to the next level. Right. It's just a stopping point. Yeah. But you go over in the SEC, a lot of athletes there. The SEC has come up a lot in basketball, and just Mississippi State in general. That football school. We're talking about football. Parts of the country that you're in. But what did Mississippi State do for you in your game?
Choosing Mississippi State, I was big on, like, from being in Grace, I'm like, I got to get out of Mississippi. I got to go play somewhere on a big stage. But then the whole time, Mississippi State was, like, there the whole time, like, recruit me hard. Like, they was on me every day. Like, other schools was, what I'm saying, they was hitting me up. But
you're in your backyard.
Right. So it really made sense for me to go there. And their developmental is, what I'm saying, helped me become a better person on and off the court, what I'm saying? Like, learning how to, what I'm saying, be a better person, what I'm saying, become a better ball player. But, what I'm saying?
It's real.
Yeah.
I mean, think about
Mississippi State. What color are you guys? What's that jersey? Because I swear to God, we beat the shit out of the Mississippi State.
I was wondering what you were
I'm
getting.
just saying, it was like one of those schools you just beat the shit out of all the time. But I don't know.
But think about that. But really, what we're saying here, Gil, what do you think about this? That we're saying that the school can do a lot for you as a player and get you to another level. But as a player, you do a lot for the school. Yeah. In both situations for you guys were schools that you're not thinking of basketball first, really. And what you guys accomplished in your time there, you're helping putting that school on the map.
Mm-hmm. It's what the school allows you to do. Like James Harden gets you to go there because, he's going to let you rock. Yeah. You know what I mean? Then, some kids who's like they looking at you like, I play like him. I'm going to go there too, because how he turned out, that's how I turned out. But that's more of a recruiting tool than anything.
No, for sure.
Anything you do, you're just watching players on how they rocked out there. Like, I'm going to go there. That's the type of player I am. They let him rock, so they'll let me rock. Nobody ever wants to talk about it, how I say it, but that's the reality of it. You know what I mean? It's like, you made it to the NBA, now what? You know what I mean? It's that now what? You're here. You're here. You're part of the roster. Here's your jersey. Here's your team picture. Now what?
And you spent time in the gym with these guys. You saw what you saw. So what's your evaluation? We can start with Quentin.
It's not an evaluation. It's more like enjoy the process. Understand what you're doing it for. Yeah. This is it. There's no school. You know what I mean? There's no more school. This is the level. This is the level.
The real world now.
But this is it. There's no there's no other level after this. This is it. So here, when you're at this NBA level, it's about details. Processing everything. Everything you've learned growing up, adapting, studying. Now it's all here. Yeah. So as much as using athleticism, you have to use this. Right. You know what I mean? Like you have to study, like, like learning what the opponents do, learning what your own teammates do. Because you got to remember, when you're coming into a situation, Like you are the new guy, right? So you have to learn a lot faster because you got to remember you're not programmed yet. You're not programmed to that system. You know what I mean? Like when players come in, if you see someone working out, they're working out for how they get the ball.
Yeah.
You know, right? So you're coming in wild, and it's either you let them tame you or you change the way things move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, coach will be like, all right, I need to put some plays in for his style versus you're gonna fit in and you're gonna do it this way.
Yeah.
So you have to learn your players, like where they like the ball, where they don't like the ball, where they can't go, where they can go, what's their habits. So you have to do a lot of watching, learning, jotting down, taking notes, and just preparing. Preparing for each matchup, every matchup. You know what I mean? The NBA is no different than any level. You got the bottom feeding teams, but you got to remember these still are NBA players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got the number 15 player, all that stuff, but he's still an NBA player. So, it's like, so a guy you think that you watch on TV is sorry will give you 20, 30.
Easily.
You know what I mean? So, you have to really prepare each and every night. It's a different battle. One's a physical battle, one's a mental battle. One, you need both. You know what I mean? So that's this level you're going to, is that, you have 82 games and you have to try to figure out how to be great at least 75.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At least 75. That's just from physical, mentally, like your shot might be off, but you rebound and still like, you got 75 games. That's where the elite lives.
Yeah.
What do you think about this too, Gil? What you just said is everybody gets there. They have their story. They got their resume. But that doesn't matter. When you're a pro now, we're all on the same level. So the cream rises to the top.
Yeah, I mean, like I really, like, going through the draft, you're, what they expect and what they want me to do, like I tried out for 17 teams, killed all 17 teams and still went 30, 32.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm busting, lottery picks ass. Like, yo, I'm good. I really believed I was the number one pick. I really believe that I'm him. I'm top 5 for sure. Yeah. You know what I mean? But that's not how it works. You know what I mean? It's still this is still a political part of it. The draft method is still political. Once you get drafted, that's game time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now that number one pick, I'm gonna see you when we play each other. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be training for you. And when you get your shot, you are prepared. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like, these guys, number 1, number 2 picks, they get their little, they get the chance early. Yeah. That's one thing that some kids can't, they gotta wait 2-3 years. You just can't get discouraged. You know what I mean? You still got to walk into every day getting better, understanding, like learning from the pros, learning from like I had to learn how to watch the game, sitting on the bench different. Like at first I was just a fan enjoying it. Like, oh my God, look at this God, is that Kobe and Lisa Leslie over there? That's how I was watching it at first.
Yeah.
Then I started, sitting there and like, now I'm watching it different. Like, oh, he don't like to go left. Okay, he can't shoot going that way. He don't do step. Like you starting to pick. So when you get to see this person, he ain't the superstar in your mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You ain't
regular
now he's a regular ass person. I know all of his flaws now because I done studied every little piece of him. Yeah. And then from there, once you learn someone's flaws, it becomes easier.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I said, like, when people's like, man, how'd you score 60 on Kobe? Well, I knew what he couldn't do. I knew what he couldn't do on defense, and I just attacked that. Yeah, so yeah, he's great to these guys, but because I knew what he couldn't do, because I studied him, I studied him every year, watched what he trained on, watched what he was lacking, and then I just used that to my advantage.
But that's what you got to do. Everyone recognizes what they can do and what you're great at and what makes highlights, but look at what they can't do. Mm-hmm. And find a weakness. Yeah. Everyone's got one.
Everyone has one. Everyone. Like that's what's everyone. Like you would think, like you just look at these guys, Kevin Durant, Kyrie, Steph, and we watch the shots being made. You know what I mean? But you got to remember when the pressure's on, they go to what they're comfortable with.
Yeah.
So you watch what they're comfortable with. Like you watch, and then you be like, all right, what gets them uncomfortable? So now it's like so when you know, like, all right, they're down 3, you already know the move Steph is gonna go to. So you're prepared for it now versus just playing them straight up and he does a pick and roll, snap back, fake hezzy, step back 3. Like, oh no, I know what he's trying to do, so I know how to push him a different way. So those are the games you gotta play at the next level.
Yeah.
And Gil says that, but let's hear from you guys. Are you already doing that actually? Looking for weaknesses in your opponent and coming in prepared? Like, I gotta think you didn't get to this point, and this isn't new information.
Hell no,
we kind of did that in like college with like Coach Sam, like before like scouting report we got like not before, and he give us, you go through the matchup and everything, but it's kind of like a test. You gotta write everything about them, what they don't like to do. Then he goes, sometimes whoever scouted it for that coach, he might be like, all right, you go up there, but even though it's not your player, like he might pick a big for me. You got to scout everything that he don't like to do, what he don't like what he do like to do. So I feel like not to the extent like as a player, but like kind of started off in college, and I feel like you definitely got to have in the league because you got to take it to the next level for sure. But kind of started off a little bit in college, a little bit with scouting reports and all that.
To be the best, you still got to sacrifice. You got to sacrifice, two out of the 5 girls that hit you, like, what you doing today? You like, you know what I mean? I ain't saying, all 5, just 2 of them. I got to work out right now.
Gil, that just when you get drafted and you make it, you're just getting started. And that rookie deal, it's nice, but that's just the entry point. You want the big deal, the longer term contract.
Nobody ever wants to talk about it, how I say it, but that's the reality of it. You know what I mean? It's like, you made it to the NBA, now what? You know what I mean? It's that now what? You're here, you're here, you're part of the roster, here's your jersey, here's your team picture, now what? You know what I mean? It's like, that's what I said. So if I'm a general manager and I'm an owner, like I want players that want me to write checks. I want to write checks. So that means if I'm writing these big checks, that means you're doing big things. That's just how it is. Like I want to write you $200 million checks. Like yes. That means it's here. You just got to put the work in.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think sometimes, like you said, you get it's the lifestyle. You got to remember, you have so much time. You have so much time to basically just not get in trouble. So that's why I said it's like to be the best, you still got to sacrifice. You got to sacrifice, two out of the 5 girls that hit you, like, what you doing today? You like, you know what I mean? I ain't saying, all 5, just 2 of them. I got to work out right now. You know what I mean? And then just from there, you have a in-season schedule. You got to build your in-season schedule on how to get better during the season, because that's a key to really everybody in the summer work out 3 times. Everybody same shit. Everybody doing the same thing, working out 3 summers, trainers. It's the season where you gain on people, like getting up those same amount of shots during the season, like before practice, after practice, late nights, taking a cab instead of the first bus. After home games, staying in the gym, getting more shots. Like, you have to figure out how to get better, how to catch people. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if you're 5th in rotation, you're trying to be 4th, you're trying to be 3rd. So by the time that end of the season, you done caught 2 spots. And then in the summer, all right, we're all doing the same thing. Next season, caught you again. 3rd season, I'm the number 1 man.
When did that kind of click for you? Like, what year were you like, I know I caught this player.
So I'll say my first year, the first part of the season, it was more like depressed, like not playing for the first time, thinking I'm not good enough. And then, I'm always giving credit. Mark Jackson, he just worked with me, man. That's
Big Mark Jackson.
Yeah, Big Mark Jackson, and from Philly. He was saying, look, what you looking at, that's not the NBA, bro. He said, and he told me a story. He said, listen, I set the bench the whole season. I played 25 games. the last 25 games of the season, and I signed a contract for $25 million. And I'm sitting here like, serious? He's like, yeah. He said, yes. He said, listen, be ready when they call you. Like, all this depressed stuff now, we're going to work. And he was hurt at the time. Waking up at 6 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning. We have practice at 11. We going to the gym, getting shots up. Me and him playing one-on-one. And he's teaching me how to be a real pro. You know what I mean? Like, veterans, most of the vets back then, they don't want you to steal a position. So they ain't touching, but since, he's the big man, and he said, just listen, this is how you work, weightlifting and getting there early, trying to figure out how to eat. And, from there, just watching and learning. Oh, I hear stories of Kobe. Let me go and see what Kobe does before the game. You know what I mean? And you're just, okay, let me see what Ray Allen's doing before the game. And you start just picking and see what the elite is doing. You got your team, but you want to try to see what the elite is doing because they don't share their secrets. Yeah. You know what I mean? They don't share their secrets. So you have to find a way to see what these guys are doing. So from there, now it's like, all right, I need to come up with my own game plan, start, preparing, okay, the first bus comes here, because at first, come on the first bus, then it's like trying to get your shots out and trying to get your rhythm. Everybody's shooting. So then I start taking a cab.
You guys would take an Uber.
Yeah, Uber. Yeah. You get Uber to the game. You know what I mean? You play at the first bus at 5:30, you Uber in there at 3. Now you done got all your shots in, you done did your whole, so you don't interfere with no one. You know what I mean? You have to figure out how to just, because that's why I said when people are like, oh man, he's going through a rookie slump. There ain't no such thing. The slump is this. You've been taking 500, 600 shots every day in the summer, right? And then during the season, you play back-to-back, then you have a day off, you take the day off, and then a back-to-back, right? Instead of getting those 3,000 shots up, you probably got 500. You know what I mean? So your shot is not exactly where it is. Yeah. And then that's what messes with your head. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, I'm going through a little slump, and then from there, but no, you got to put in the work that you put in. Yeah. You know what I mean? Trying to figure out how to keep your same routine during that season.
That's that now what thing that you're talking about is just because you got a schedule, you got games, you're traveling, all that, cool, but you still got to get your time in as a hooper and stay sharp. And then now what? Then now what do I do? And I think what you're saying, Gil, is you can follow that routine and that's cookie cutter for everybody, but you guys don't want to be cookie cutter players. Yeah. You want to follow that pattern. So you got to look at things like little cracks I can get into or advantages I can take, and that'll make me a better player, but also give me more time. Yeah. That's really what you did.
Because, at that level, they're expecting you to be professional and put your own skill in. Like, you really think Houston was having practice to work on plays James Harden was doing? No. You really think they spent an hour and a half in practice to run a whole offense that's like, like, no, 10 minutes work on the other person's stuff and make sure y'all getting y'all shots up. That's basically. Combo guard is so early 2000s.
I'm bringing it back.
Yeah, it's so early 2000s. Now it's just a guard.
Yeah.
You want to be a guard that can just do everything. Like, you don't want to be limited to, I run the team well, or I can do everything.
What you just said, their skill set. What you guys have is your own. You guys are together. We said you're bonded by your time working together, but you have your own unique skill set. Gil and I talked about what he saw in you both. So we'll start with DJ. You said one-on-one player. He'll do very well. And that's really what it is. You have a position that you're labeled with, but your identity as a player is what you said for him is a one-on-one.
See, man, I'm depending on when I might hurt his chances. I might hurt his chances because, but because people don't really know who you are, right? And you get put into these workouts and they do 1-on-1 and 2-on-2, you're gonna be a problem for these guys. You're gonna be a problem because you are a one-on-one player. I can see what you look at the knees, you look at the ankles, you look at the feet position, and that's what makes a great one-on-one player. Like the old school, like look at your hip and like, man, I want to see what's going on right here because you can't move without any of that. So when you play one-on-one, it's gonna be some problems for somebody, and you're gonna move up in the draft. So don't get mad that it's gonna be hard for you to get some workouts. Like after you've been busting a couple of ass, you gonna have to try to get into workouts with the people who's supposed to be lottery to let them know like what's happening. Like why you don't dodge me? You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where you guys both have different. Like you guys are going into this draft and these workout in different situations. And I was more like you in draft where I'm trying to chase down players. Like, come on now. Like, nah, I don't even know what. Let me go against him real quick. Let me do the ones-on-ones. Like, it was one of those where, I'm sitting here trying to chase workouts. Like, and Jason, he's top 5, so he only working out for 4 teams. I'm 17 teams. Like we used to go back like, yo, where you going? Hey man, I gotta go to Toronto, bro. Like I gotta go. You know what I mean? It's just, it was a grind. Enjoy the process, but the most important thing here is challenging each other. Right. You know what I mean? It's like for you guys to really build like your game is ready. Yeah. Because you practice together so much, right? Right? That means you know what each other can do and can't do. Mm. So that means you guys are gonna pick on each other the most, which means you guys are gonna be sharp in each other's knives. Because now you're gonna be pushing him to his weak side. You have to now try to figure out how to, so you guys are gonna challenge each other the most. Right. So when you guys go into these workouts, you guys should be really competing.
Is that your mindset right now? You want to smoke? Like, give me anybody.
Right.
Right.
Got to, especially when, like, I'm not as, popular or, like, on the draft boards like that. So, like, I gotta.
But you know that. You're cool with that. So you're like, all right, let's put it on the floor.
Right.
Yeah, I think that we're kind of, like, going back to what he said, like, pushing each other every day. You just kind of waiting for that opportunity because, you've been working out all summer. We've been pushing each other the past month and a half, just kind of waiting to people say you're better than that guy. We'll line them up, put them against them, and then you kind of see where the tips may fall.
And where you sit, Cube, more in that space of Gil, I think that there's a lot of similarities in that sense of the combo guard definition, to where you can score, you can run an offense, you make decisions.
Now, combo guard is so early 2000s.
I'm bringing it back.
Yeah, it's so early 2000s. Now it's just a guard.
Yeah.
You want to be a guard that can just do everything. Like you don't want to be limited to, I run the team well, or I can do everything. Yeah. I can, you can throw me. Obviously, he has success at the 2. You can put me at the 2. I can be, you can put me at the 1. I can dominate. So I can do it all. If you want to go small ball, I can play the 3. Right. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where you want to be able to do so much that the coach cannot
take you out.
Like, I can't, you going. What Luka's great at is he plays to his speed. So, like, if you're faster, he has moves that's gonna make you go where, like, all right, shouldn't go this way, fake, okay, now you run. Like, so he plays, that's what I said, he plays everyone differently.
What changes and what stays the same? Give some advice.
What changes is life. You're rich now. That changes. That changes a whole nother element. Your friends change, your family change, your girlfriend changes. You know what I mean? That's a whole nother issue. No, seriously, that really does. But
I think they're aware of that.
But the game is the game. Yeah. Like don't ever forget that. Like the pleasure you have in training and playing, that's never gonna change unless you let it change. It's just the elements around you that actually changes. You don't have to do the same things you had to do before. You know what I mean? Now you have to think about like how you were from middle school to now, right? Everything you've done got you to this point. No. Now you have to figure out how to get here with this new element. That's all it is.
All right, that worked. It's a good answer. All right, so speaking of answers,
white man question.
We got, that's what I'm here for. Turn the tables. We want some answers from him now. So at this moment where you guys are headed,
answers.
Let them ask the questions though. Okay. Let's run some Ask Agent Zero. Pick his brain. What do you got?
What was the hardest thing, like, coming into the league? Like, what was your hardest, like, battle?
Being on your own. You know, you being a kid in a world that's all adults, in a sense where, you know, you got, you know, married men who got girlfriends, men who got kids. You know, this person has, you know, his family with him, and you're just this lone guy trying to figure out how to survive. You know, no one's telling you. You know, there's no one teaching you and showing you how to be a pro, showing you, you know, so you're basically learning it on your own. You know, it's not a place where they're gonna babysit you to be what you are. You just gotta want it. That's why I say it's more of a want thing. Like, I want to be great, so you're gonna put in the time. Other than that, everyone's gonna keep moving.
Right.
So if you're not putting in that work yourself, they're not gonna be force feeding you. You know, so you know, if you come to the gym at, you know, I think they changed it a little bit now. They like have the rookies come in at a certain time now and to do all that stuff. But from there, it's just being young and in a world where it's adult. You're supposed to be a professional when, like, I don't know what a professional is. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just here. You know, I'm just 1 year removed, like a couple months removed from college. You know what I mean? Pulling pranks and shit like that. I'm just overnight like, oh yeah, I'm an adult now. Like,
Yeah, right.
Did you also want to know who gave him that work? He said battle.
Like in everybody. Like this is it. It's like everyone's you. Every you know what I mean? Everyone's you, but they're advanced. So they got the tricks, all that stuff. That's what I said, you gotta go in there and you have to learn what to be a pro is. Like you don't like you gotta come in there and like what grabs, what holds, what little sneaky things, like you have to try to figure it all out because you're gonna be hit with all of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, even though this player, I'm way more talented than this player, I can't do what I do because he's doing something you have to figure all that out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you gotta remember, nobody wants you to take it. They're not gonna just yeah. Oh, here's my starting position. You can have my little 45 minutes. I'm cool. You know, I'm going here, sit on the bench and just chill and cheer for you. No, that's not gonna happen, man. They're gonna do everything they can to keep you down. So you gotta understand and play. You gotta play the game. It's the game within the game.
Yeah.
Game within the game. Q, what you got?
Is there anything like that you wish you did like earlier on in your career that could have made it like last a little bit longer, or something that you could have changed early?
Understood what injury was, what it meant, what it did. When I got injured, it was, you know, you start processing like, when I broke my arm, I remember like I just took it off and I just started using this, you know what I mean? And you know, rehab, like nobody want to do no rehab. I want to go out here and get these shots up. You know what I mean? Like I didn't take rehab serious because I thought it was meaningless to my skill level. Not realizing shit, without my knee, I can't do any of this stuff. You know what I mean? And I learned that 3 surgeries later. By the time that happened, got arthritis, knees locking up. You know what I mean? Like I wasted so much time trying to avoid working on this so I can keep my position. I'm chasing Kobe Bryant. I'm chasing Steve Nash. You know what I mean? Like I don't have time to be sitting here doing these little these little movements, bro. Like I'm trying to really go out there and ball. And that's the hardest thing about working out, because you have workout players. I mean, they went to Gonzaga. You know, and, you know, they look great in workouts.
We want to always know what the young culture, the youth, the next wave is watching in the league. So who would you guys say, who's the most valuable guard in the league right now? That does it all, skill set, leadership, production.
I'll probably say Luka. right now. Just like watching that game versus the Clippers, he just like I think like the last 4 minutes, he was just in control of the whole game. Pat Beverly on his side, like getting to his spot, like he wasn't even there. Like
Talking to him too.
That's what I'm saying. Then like I think he drove, and like they helped him. He dropped out the Porzingis, and he just like it's just like he was just playing like a totally different game than everybody else on the court. So just watching him, just being at such a young age, and just like one of those guys where you gotta something like I'm trying to when we get there, that's some guy we trying to chase. So like he said, you gotta figure out the next time how do I get better at this so I can when you play against him, try to take away his moves or whatever. But yeah, that's one guy who kind of just dominates the whole game, just does everything.
Is that the intangible for Luka, his pace? He does a lot of things really well, but
Yeah,
really his
you
pace.
know, like it's one of those things that go against like trainer, like go faster, faster, faster. Like technically, just go at the speed you play at. You know what I mean? So what Luka's great at is he plays to his speed. So like if you're faster, he has moves that's gonna make you go where like, all right, oops, Shooky, go this way, fake. Okay, now you ran. Like so he plays. That's what I said. He plays everyone different.
Like you got athleticism against them.
Yeah. So it's like, that's why I said, remember I told you yesterday, I will do moves different on both of you guys because I can't do the same move. Like a move I try on you, shit, gonna get stopped there. A move I try him, gonna get stopped here. So I had to figure out what moves work there, what moves work here. Like, you know, him with Pat Beverly, keep him my side, he's little, I'm gonna pull up. Versus this next person, he's a little faster, can't keep him on side, so I gotta sit there and try to make him use his speed so I can get my open shots.
So you think like NBA teams, when you do workouts and you going at your pace, you think they can be like misconceived as like, oh, he not?
Yes. And that's the hardest thing about working out, because you have workout players. That means they went to Gonzaga, Duke, you know, those little you know, and, you know, they look great in workouts, but when there's real actual people in front of them, it doesn't work so well. Then you have players who their speed just doesn't eye-catching. Like, oh, he looks a little lazy, doesn't really look like he's going hard. And then you just have guys who are just gamers. Like, something about the lights in people and like that's where their talent is. So, you know, it's your agent's job to really understand your game, to know how to put you so your ability stands out. If you're playing 1-on-1, 2-on-2, and you know you're going through this methodical movements, you know they're gonna be like, oh, he's lazy, he doesn't want it. I'm like, nah, that's just my speed. That's just I can sit here and be the road runner out here, but I don't think that's gonna make me look good. That's you know, because as I said, they don't know what they're for the most part, they don't know what they're looking at. You know what I mean? They don't really know what they're looking at. That's why I don't like the way combines are. The people that's supposed to be top 13, how many other players do they play that's at their caliber that I'm ranking you on? Like I'm ranking you top 2, top 3 pick, but you didn't play against no one that was actually challenging you. So it's like I want to see the cream of the crop actually go against the cream of the crop. Like, so I can really evaluate your actual talent. You know what I mean? Because, you know, you sitting here working out by yourself and all that. That's like, how do I know what he looks like when competition kicks in? Like, what is he gonna look like when he gets fouled 2 times? Like, I mean, you know, is he gonna, you know, he's down, you know, we're going to 5, he's down 4-0, and then now he has to do line drills. You know what I mean? And then he goes on a 5-0 run. I would never see that in a workout by myself. You know, by yourself. So it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's just one of those things you just gotta get through. You know what I mean? It's just.
That's what you said. We said cream of the crop, right? And it doesn't matter who.
But they don't
is.
do it.
Yeah.
It's just like football, and they running a 100-yard dash, and it's like, oh my God, he done dropped 3 rounds because he did a 4.2. Can he catch the ball? Like I don't like can he catch? I don't know if he can catch the ball. Like I don't know when they run sprints in football. You know what I mean? So, but that's how they evaluate you. They evaluate you on stuff that has nothing to do with what you actually do.
Yeah, and you said raw, you used that word raw before, and we know that it starts with the physical skills, but the skill set's got to fill in. And I think what we're seeing now, you guys watch. That's the other thing. The last thing we should talk about is this. You guys watching the game now, right? Watching the postseason. So from you guys watching games right now, you're seeing the guys that had all the extra time in school or the polish that they put in, they're succeeding in the postseason.
Yeah, like guys like I feel like Kawhi and them, like kind of staying like what you say 2-3 years for San Diego State. 2 years. Yeah, they seem like that. I feel like you kind of got maybe a better understanding of the game and just kind of how to work. Just kind of go through things, just pushing through some things. I feel like seeing him like when he went to Toronto, kind of put this on his back, kind of went to a new system, but he still kind of. I don't know, he got a different feel to when you're watching them, like an older player, maybe like even though like one and done, they still are already successful, but they kind of got a different edge to them, I think, and they kind of can carry over to the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, on what he said, it's just been like as you get older, you get like more confidence and
knowledge.
Yeah, you get more confidence, and I feel like as a freshman, you go in like you're like green, like you don't know what to expect. But, and then. And like the older guys who come in, like they done seen a whole lot of stuff, so it's like kind of almost natural because
it's that fine line. We talked about this before, potential. And potential is great, but when you actually have the experience, confidence, IQ, putting that all together, you want to be in that window. And that's really where you guys are right now.
Just enjoy the process. You know what I mean? Enjoy all of it, knowing that, you know, there's a goal that you want to get to, and no matter how you start, is how you finish. You know what I mean? And always keep that in sight, you know. Like I played 120 games and signed for like $65 million. Like, but those first 40 games, I'm thinking I'm done. It's the end of my career, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm done. I'm a second round pick. Oh man, I'm about to be. They didn't have no G League then. I'm about to be overseas, playing at Venice Beach or something. You know what I mean? And then, you know, it clicks. Yeah. You know, it clicks. So, you know, just stay true to your work ethic, and you know that's gonna take you as far as you want to go.